brand to his friends through posts that we provide, at the same time messaging that the consumer can actually do. So while we have a 200,000 base of consumers on the Facebook page over the last 2 years only, but I think what will be the game changer for us will be the conversations that the consumer can have using this platform or mobile. Not just that, we reward the customer for being social for the brand, which means the fact that any post that the consumer makes that we provide to them, which goes online through our app, is actually rewarded in the form of social points. The consumer is actually accumulating social points, they're talking about the brand, and that's basically something which is helping us. So I think we're taking tiny steps, we're really not reached large, and I believe we cannot go the traditional route of full page advertising. So this is our way of actually reaching out to consumers.
Great, Rajiv. Coming to you, Uma, and one of the things which I don't know how many people in the audience are aware, but Uma has actually tried out a new route of not doing mass advertising over the last few months and few quarters. And she tells me her business is, continues to grow. In fact, grows at a better pace. So, Uma, any thoughts there for us to understand what you're doing different?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to take off from where Rajiv left off, because even for us it's the same thing, right? Product is at the center of anything that we do, and we are driven by one statement in the organization, which is passion for product. Let me give you another example. Since you mentioned no mass media, let's take Zara. All of us are, know that what Zara has done to our market and any other market that it has entered. No media, no advertising, no social, right? Hardly any social presence. You want to go to the Zara website, it's the most run-of-mills website that you can find today that you want to shop in. So what have they got right? First, at the center of it, obviously they've got the understanding of the product right, and that's marketing. That's marketing. While in retail we may say it's product management separate from marketing, the retail organization works in the system where the product team and the marketing team is a single think tank, and that's what drives the success of an organization like Zara. Then it's where you're present. So I would say that Celio is invested, much like us, in good locations, and that is also a marketing effort. And then how you present your store. So that's the nuts and bolts of your business, and that's your first marketing pitch. Then comes, what is it that you want to do? How do you want to tell people what's new, what's good about you, more than people passing by your store? Plus this two-way conversation that social gives you. So if you advertise in a newspaper, all of us went back and say what was the footfall. Saturday the ad came out, how many people walked into my store, which paper gave you more, who saw your ad, full size delivered better, half size delivered better, etc. But you don't know what it did in terms of conversation, right? So now people talk back. So essentially your first step is that the social gives you that, which is like a reach builder, right? It gives you reach builder, you can acquire and you can go narrow. So if I had to go back and say I want to acquire 10 lakh people, it's going to cost me almost 1 crore maybe to acquire that. So if I look at one of our businesses, for example, the food business that we have, it's only 6 stores. I don't want everybody coming onto that Facebook page. How do I prevent that? And how do I manage that base? So when I go narrow and narrow to acquire, my cost of acquisition of each fan goes to almost 30 rupees. Because I'll go city, I'll go interest, people who like food, somebody who likes cheese, all of that will happen. Then once I have this, I still need to invest in content to differentiate, right? And that differentiation cannot come if you don't differentiate your business, because what you see online is what you've got to come and see in the store. Then it says, how do you translate this into sales? Because for none of us, if we don't have a sales channel, then that awareness and equity that you're creating becomes meaningless. And at some point, if the people are not going to come to your offline channel and buy if you're not selling online. So I think going, with a deeper understanding is very, very important, because it's going to replace or complement your marketing efforts, and that's really the trick in getting social right, in my view. I don't know how many of us, do it that way. The second is that, of course, we also have like a good loyalty base. Like you mentioned that you have a big base as well. So we've got over 15 lakh members. But it's an easy way to reach out to them through Facebook, because we all know our email click-through rates are nothing like the banks, right? So if you reach out through Facebook, and I'll give you a good example, we reached out to our lapsed customers, through the Facebook medium, through power targeting. We located them on Facebook through their email ID or phone number and posted our content onto their page. And we got a 25% response of lapsed customers coming back, right? Half of them enrolled back into the program, and we got 27 lakhs of sale from that one visit.
Or 50,000 rupees of expense.
50,000 rupees of expense. That I think is the good part about it, because while you don't know the large number of people who are there, but if you can get to know your customers, if you can get to profile, and if the channels work with you on doing that, is when it start making more and more sense to us. Otherwise it will be like another Times of India ad.
Great. So, we've got some retailer perspective now, Puneet, but you are an aggregator of retailers as a mall. And any perspective there on digital, social media, or even society-based, community building activities which you guys are so good at?
I think today for us, we are targeting a very mass segment because if you see the customers who are in a mall, the age group varies from 5 years to maybe 75 years. So for us, it's the mass marketing that works better. But challenge going ahead is knowing them who's walking in our mall. That's where the biggest challenge is for the shopping centers like us, to know who's walking inside our malls. So how we are now looking in the future is to invest in a platform wherein we come to know, first of all, we aggregate all the retailers together and give that information what the customer is searching for. For example, somebody is searching for a particular product, which store, what price he will find. If we can throw that information on a single platform like mobile application, that's where we are looking at the future to develop that thing and give it to our customers. The other thing is also we are looking at technology wherein we find out as you enter into a mall, we identify you and we reward you something to build a affinity towards our brand. So these are two areas where we are looking at.
Next time any of you guys are in Inorbit Mall, if you don't get something, who to call. Yeah, so we'll switch gears to, a very fast, almost a FMCG segment, cell phones today, almost heading in that direction, with huge number of phones, increasingly smartphones being sold. So, Abhishek, any perspective from your side on how digital, social media, this whole piece works for your category?
Before I answer that, I would like to just dwell upon 2 points. First point is, unlike Uma or Rajiv, the products that we sell are available everywhere. So, Samsung phone is available at my store, is available at other stores including Croma and other mom and pop retailers as well. So, a customer has a multiple choices of handsets as well as where to buy that from. So, that puts us in a very competitive position. That is one. Second is the product itself, which is a handset or a mobile phone. Since the entire market is moving towards smartphones, the entire accessing of the social platform or digital platform is also happening through this device. So I am in a position, I am actually a retailer who is selling that device which is going to be used to access a Facebook or any digital platform. So I need to be there. From that thought, we have presence in a digital platform, we have an online store, we have a pretty active Facebook page and we are also pretty active in Twitter as well. On Facebook we have approximately 6 lakh fans with us, though fans is a very used and abused word. I would not like to call them fans. You cannot be in a business where you call your customers as fans. Actually we are their fans. So what do we look at this Facebook as? Most of us actually try to understand that is Facebook a means of acquiring customers. The major metric that everybody needs to look at Facebook, so how many customers did you actually manage to convert into a sale? I have a different view on this. Facebook is a means of engaging with the customer, and as long as you are able to keep this engagement at a very fruitful level for a customer, that the customer sees value in it, customer will keep on engaging with your brand. And I would like to quote an example over here. We were close to a year back, we were planning to launch a new product, and as goes with every new product that every launch, we like to give it a, what we call it as a mnemonic, or it's a logo, that this product needs to be identified by a particular unit, as it's the most, let's have a unit for this product. So we decided and we came up with a unit for this product, and as happens, there were multiple views and counter views about, no, yeah, this is looking good, this is not looking good, and at that point of time, there is no right or wrong way to say whether this is correct or this is not correct. So what do we do? Either option would have been to actually syndicate a research, go to customers, ask them and come back probably a month, 1.5 later, spend a lot of money and then came, okay, the customers preferred this. What we did was very simple. We posted those two logos along with what the service would be on our Facebook page and asked our customers to vote which one they find is more, which things goes with the product and goes with us. The result came out and we went ahead with what the customers gave. So it killed 2 birds with the stone. Number one is, and every marketer's challenge is, I was able to push it through internally, and more importantly is I had the customer's voice behind it. So this is how you can very effectively use a social media like Facebook to come up with a solution, for a problem that you face. Other is, since the category is very exciting, since there are new launches that keep on happening in our category, again, in fact, today also we have seen a new phone being launched. So what it helps us to keep the customer engaged is the moment we keep on posting at our pages about the various things which are happening within this category. So we find it is a very good tool for creating engagement with our customers.
Okay, I'll move to Anak, who represents chlorophyll, and your perspective, Anak, on this digital social media, this whole piece of how we should look at this.
I think listening to everybody over the last 2 days, I'm now completely confused about what is social media and what is digital.
That is sometimes the intention of it.
And
How do you think consultants make money?
yeah, but if you confuse a consultant, then there's a big problem. Having said that, what is social media? Whenever I see everybody using the word social media, Facebook, Twitter, and that's not social media. You were social when you were born. Your family around you, your friends around you are social. Before digital came into being, when you bought a good product, you spoke to your friends, relatives and said, this is a good store, this is where I will buy, like the Santa Cruz market. Today, the same thing. If you are an introvert, Facebook gives you an opportunity to tell 100 other introverts that this is something which I like. Having said that, the concentration on Facebook, which went into a spin I think a year ago, where people started buying fans and liking, and when you do an in-depth study, you realize that all the fans had just one like or whatever it was. I think 2 years ago, I was at the Bombay store, and we were fighting against a challenge which was an old 106-year-old company, started as a Swadeshi movement and all that, and how do we get the younger group in? October of 2011, we decided let's get designer flip-flops. That was the rage at that time. I guess every retailer must have gone through the pains. So when you import something, mostly you expect it will hit your store on a particular day, and then you realize that the year was different. And so it happened with us. It arrived in February. And at that point of time, all of a sudden, how do we reach the market? There was no ad. So we took to Twitter. And what we did was very simple. There was the BMC elections. And we said, we'll give away 100 flip-flops. The rest can buy at a special price of $199 at any of the stores. And we started a Chappal Maro campaign. That which corporator would you like? I think in social media and digital terminology, we trended for 3 days. We got a couple of erstwhile political people making calls and saying this is unfair, etc., etc. But what happened was, what was expected to sell out from October to March, we sold out from February to March. And that was something which we totally believed that the ROI is coming. And I guess Bombay Store still continues with the social media. But I think social media, the fear of any retailer or any business today on digital or social media, it's an accepted part and parcel of your communication. Because that's how your younger consumers are going to consume news. And if you don't cater to that, you're leaving a slot where your competition will take over.
So there's this certain muffler wearing guy who wears fancy flip-flop sandals.
Absolutely.
Who might be available for brand ambassadorship in a few days.
Yes,
Yeah?
we approached him.
Okay. Yeah. So to completely shift gears now from the marketing end of digital social media to as they say, the new elephant in the room is e-commerce. And if you ask any of the retailers, the brick and mortar people like me and Rajiv and Uma and others, they keep telling you over coffee. They don't say it in panel discussions, but they say that these guys have private equity money to blow. So they are great time for customers. Just go and shop. Okay. Somebody else yesterday told me that while an e-commerce company loses money, sometimes hand over fist, but courier companies, logistics companies, warehouses, data experts, consultants, all of them technology experts are all thrilled with this new elephant in the room. Yeah. So to get a completely different take on it, and I think Deepa, who is literally an evangelist for the e-commerce industry, apart from her role in eBay, Deepa, your take on this whole e-commerce, and how it's going to work.
So, what I'd offer up is a few things. One is, the interesting thing about Indian e-commerce is that today there are 89 million Indians in December, just that month, who are coming to online shopping websites. Think of that in a mall context and in a store context. 89 million people waiting to shop. They're checking out your products, they're engaging with you through a mobile device or a tablet. And of course, I'll also tell you the other side of it, which is that only 14 million are actually shopping. Just think of the potential of 89 million people. That's a lot of people. That's more than the population of many large countries, right? Which we call large countries at least from an e-commerce or traditional retail perspective. The other thing that, as a marketplace, the way I look at this and the way eBay looks at this is that we are a platform that we're offering retailers of all sizes. So we have large retailers and large format retailers, we have large brands, and we also have many, many very small businesses who may employ just between 2 to 4 people. They're all reaching out to the 4,306 cities that we have consumers from in India, as well as exporting to 201 countries around the globe. And all of this is using just the eBay platform or the mobile app or mobile web or whatever it is. So e-commerce is here to stay. Embrace the channel, have a presence on it, do not be scared of the channel. There are a lot of ecosystem players and marketplaces like us who are happy to help you figure this out.